We can see a movie theater here, but not just a movie theater. Along here we have a shopping mall. Right now in Tres Rios, actually just outside of the center of Tres Rios, and I'm going to go see the Tres Rios Mall, which is called Terra Mall. This is my first time here, so it'll be new to me as well. Just one side note before I actually go into the mall. Right here, well, we've seen this before. This is a coffee plantation, and this is a real working coffee plantation. And it's right across from a suburban mall. So that is probably something you're not going to see in the United States. I'm not sure whether this is a pedestrian entrance or not. Looks like that might be. There has to be some type of entrance somewhere, I assume. Well, it's certainly not a small mall, and it's not an empty mall, but it does feel a little different than Lincoln Plaza, or even Mall Plaza Curitiba. Christmas decorations are still up. I guess it's only a week or two later. And there's a food court down there that I'll be going to after walking around a bit more. And in case you're worried about security in this mall, it's patrolled by Ghostbusters apparently. Who else are you going to call? So this is a 3-level mall. And right now I'm going down to this level, which I think this is also a split-level mall. So this might be a basement or might be the first floor. It has access to the... Okay, so it looks like this is actually a 2.5-story mall, and this is just an exit outside. I wonder if Terra Mall is actually a reference to that it's kind of like buried in the earth. Frank Lloyd Wright would be very impressed, I guess. And you can see we're right across from the hills, which were actually, that's only like a mile and a half that way the other day when I got stuck. So this might actually be one of the few times I've seen an empty space in a mall. So compared to the rest of Costa Rica, this might be as close to a dead mall as you can get. But you can see it's a very full parking lot. So still pretty buzzing. So the options aren't available from here, but the food court is only from there to there. It's only like 6 or 7 restaurants. So a little bit, or actually a lot less deluxe than I'm usually used to in food courts. Even less than Mall San Pedro, which is a physically smaller mall than this. So yeah, I think a lot of what's going on in this mall is pretty apparent. I mean, it's still a busy mall, but it's not quite as deluxe as some of the malls we've seen. So this is the main concourse. We have a main level and then a mezzanine. Different types of businesses. Most of them are small. There's only 1 or 2 anchors here, and they're not like big fancy anchors. They're like, I think like Elise, which is like a general department store. So it's a little bit smaller of a mall. Makes sense. Tres Rios is a little bit smaller of a town. And Tres Rios is, I'd say, middle class, so it's mixed, but not quite like taking in what Lincoln Plaza or even Mall Plaza Curitiba is. Anyway, so from here, I'm going to turn around. There is a Pops. That was what I was looking for. So this apparently is the main entrance, and I had my milkshake. There's also a bookstore there, which was one thing I was missing before. So yeah, I like this mall. It's not the fanciest mall in Costa Rica, but it's certainly more fancy and more nice feeling than the average mall in the United States right now. And from here, I'm going to weave through the parking lot and go on to other things after I take one last shot. So apparently the exit goes under the freeway here. You can see those hills, so that's one other thing. Great view outside the mall. And yeah, it's an interesting sight to say the least.